Personality. The unique trait we are all born with, but its uniqueness can often be somewhat adjusted and sometimes completely changed. The reasons in which why this happens are not that different. Most of the time, we change our personality because of our environment. Usually, especially when we are young, we don't choose our environment. Parents, siblings, and even our first friends, who are often our family friends' kids, all influence our character and personality development throughout our youth. The environment we are in usually defines how well we can be ourselves and understand what we truly enjoy. The two most influential environments in our lives, which I want to discuss, are the one we are born into and the one we discover as we develop our personality. First of all, the people who are basically responsible for our growth as a person are our family. No matter in what conditions you are born or how poor your family is, with the right parenting, you can become no less successful of a human being as the person who was born in the perfect conditions. When you first come into this world, everything is new to you, and you soak it all up like a sponge. And logically, most of what you soak up is from the people you see the most, your parents and, if you have any, siblings. We are all born with unique traits, but without any values or direction for what to do with all these traits, our family needs to help us understand what is valuable in life and, most importantly, who we really are. With values, it's a bit easier because we all, without exception, gain certain values, some better, some worse, but every human being has a pretty common understanding of what is right and what is wrong, unless you and your family are crazy. Helping us understand who we really are is a bit more complicated because parents sometimes don't understand what they actually need to do. I think we have all encountered people, for example, some guy who is exactly the same as his father. And I'm not talking about appearance, I'm talking about their behavior, interests, and even thoughts. They seem to have a great connection with each other, and the guy looks quite alright and well educated. But is it really him? The problem is that parents often see themselves in their kids. They don't want their kids to make the same mistakes they did in their life. They have an image of a perfect person or son/daughter which they want to recreate in you, or better to say, they have an image of a better version of themselves which they want you to become. This image just can't be the same as the image that their kid could have in the future. But unconsciously, these parents do everything to impose their image in their kid's head. And because kids are not fully developed in terms of understanding what they really want, they accept this image of becoming someone they really don't ever want to be. There is some irony in this whole situation because most parents want only the best for their kids and for their future, but as a result, they do the opposite. I think it would be better if parents placed their kids' spiritual growth and self-development ahead of some materialistic success in the future because, in the end, the goal of every parent is to be sure that their kid will be happy. And if you truly understand for yourself what you want and what you like, you have a much higher chance of being happy than if you had a brilliant career but didn't have this understanding. However, even if you got lucky and have the kind of parents who paid attention to your self-development, if you later find yourself in the wrong company of people, you could unconsciously forget about your uniqueness. Choosing friends or company at a young age is very important for our social development. That's when we make our first choices about which person we want to be friends with. The same favorite sport or cartoon. These kinds of simple things usually lead to friendships at a young age. We don't choose friends based on how well this person can influence our life. We choose those with whom we can spend time most interestingly. Usually it's hard to find more than 2 to 3 friends like that. If I'm being honest, that's already cool if you have one friend because one study showed that 20% of teens in the USA basically don't have friends. So you can imagine that if 14,600,000 people were not able to find some kind of friend, it's not that easy to find another one if you start to dislike the one you have now. Humans are social animals, and to feel more confident and happier, we need to surround ourselves with someone similar. And there's the problem. Even though you can understand that your friend or friends have a negative impact on you, your desire not to be alone will often be stronger than the desire to leave this friend to find someone who will have a better impact on you. You can judge how bad loneliness influences our lives, but if you want to understand what you really want and want to do in your life, loneliness is one of the best ways to find it. But I think I will make a separate video about this topic. It's hard to understand what a bad company or friend really is for you. Of course, if we are not seeing some objective signals, people tend to notice some obvious issues that they can see from the outside, but they don't pay enough attention to see or hear the real problems when talking to people. I have a couple of examples of how people harm their personality and uniqueness. The first one is when someone tries to customize you. It's a bit hard to notice. This person may seem sweet at first, but over time they'll try to impose their own interests or thoughts to make you more suitable for them. The longer you talk with this person, the more similar interests and thoughts you adopt from them. The second one is basically jealousy. Most people don't like those who stand out, whether in appearance or intelligence. So this person will sometimes remind you that you are pretty average and not better than them, even though you may be completely not average. This kind of person will make you want to stand out and will impose the thought that you are average because they don't want to surround themselves with people who overshadow them. I mentioned primarily problems that can negatively affect our personality, but it would not be correct to say only our close environment negatively impacts our personality. In every human timeline, there have been certain basic trends in society, including different things such as basic interests, thoughts, and overall guidelines on how we need to live. These kinds of trends always create a pattern of a successful human being, how you need to live, what you need to achieve at a certain age, and what you need to do to be happy. This pattern of a correct personality, which is common among many people, affects our own personality no less than our close environment. With the rise of technology and social media, this problem has become significantly worse. The problem is not just that you can look up or hear about the most successful people in the world by opening the internet, but that these people create an unachievable image for most people, and some even tell you how to live correctly. Nowadays, not only you can hear someone question you and your personality in real life, but you can also hear it just by scrolling your feed on Instagram or TikTok. For example, you like to wear sandals in the summer because you believe that sandals are more comfortable than sneakers, but then one of your classmates tells you that you look very ugly in them. You might understand his useless point, but refuse to think he's right. Then you come home, open TikTok, and see several videos in your feed where people mock those who wear sandals. These posts get hundreds of thousands of likes, and you start to think that maybe your classmate was right because it's not just his opinion, but the opinion of thousands of people that sandals are ugly. I'm using sandals as an example, and as you can understand, clothing is not the worst case of trends in society. It is significantly worse when society tries to adjust your personal beliefs and interests or make you think that you're weird. To provide an example of a fictional character who started to question his personal beliefs and how the environment influenced our personality, I chose Simba from The Lion King. Simba was the son of the Lion King Mufasa and was essentially born with the purpose of becoming the new king after Mufasa. He was brave and confident, especially in his goal of becoming the new king. But after the accident in which Mufasa died, an accident set up by Mufasa's brother Scar, who blamed Simba for killing his brother, Simba was kicked out of his land so Scar could become the new king. Simba ran as far as he could, but eventually got tired and couldn't move anymore. He got lucky and was noticed by a meerkat and a warthog named Timon and Pumbaa. They saved him from death and showed him the place where they lived. At first, Simba resisted their lifestyle, but after some time, he started to eat insects, jump into lakes, and live a carefree life, which Timon and Pumbaa describe as Hakuna Matata. He lived his best life and almost forgot about his sad past, but by accident, he met his best friend Nala, who was searching for help. Nala was shocked to see that Simba was still alive because everyone thought Simba had died in the same accident as Mufasa. She told him that the new king, Scar, had destroyed their land and they needed help. Simba initially refused to go back because he still felt guilty for Mufasa's death and didn't think everyone would forgive him. But after a couple of events and encounters, he decided to return to his land and save it, thereby becoming the new king. So, all his youth, Simba wanted to become king. Yes, this goal could have been imposed, but we will not dive too much into that. He had a brave and ambitious personality, but after a couple of not-so-sweet events, he forgot about his ambitions and began living a new life that he discovered when he met his new friends. He basically transformed from the future king of animals to a warthog in the form of a lion. He was happy, but was it really the life he wanted? No, it was an environment imposed by his new friends. This environment was not bad, but it was not meant for him. He forgot what he truly wanted and accepted an alternative proposed by others. He remembered what he truly wanted and what his real purpose was only when he met someone from the past who remembered him differently. In conclusion, I want to say that even if you struggle to find people who understand you and your personality, don't be afraid to be alone. Sometimes it's better to stay alone than be with someone who doesn't appreciate you. Because at the end of the day, what's the reason to pretend to be what you're not? I would like to say thank you for watching the whole video. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That's it.
The end.